time when every dollar counts, Capital Ford in Santa Fe is stepping up and offering employee pricing for everyone. Yes, employee pricing for everyone is now available on new Fords. You pay what Ford employees pay. Employee pricing means save up to $9,000 off MSRP on a new 25 Ford F-150 or save up to $4,800 off, plus 3.9% APR on a new 24 Ford Bronco. From America, for America. We're Capital Ford in Santa Fe.
Ladies and gentlemen, from La Casa de los Lobos, the Pit, here at the University of New Mexico, let's get ready to rumble!
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Road to the Pit Live. Road to the Pit Live is produced by New Mexico Alumni Media. It is part of the Pit Press platform. Check us out on YouTube at The Pit Press. We also have a website, thepitpressnm.com, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or X. I'm one of your co-hosts, Nick Nunez. Your other co-host is Ed Nunez. Dad, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, son. You and I just wrapped up our ProView Network's season you did the 4A baseball game and I did the 2A and 3A, and you had quite a good time with former Rio Rancho head coach Ron Murphy, and I had a great time with former Valley head coach Roger Cordova. So that season's over, and we're still rolling with Deep in the Dugout. Now tonight, Road and Pit, we've got a very special guest.
Our special guest tonight is ABC Prep standout guard, 5-star ESPN women's basketball recruit, and LSU commit, Bella Hines. Bella, welcome back to Road to the Pit. Thank you for being on with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Bella, I know you were on with Van Tate and KRQE a couple months ago. I know you've probably done quite a few interviews in between then, but you've had a big last couple months. You finished your season with a grind session and ABC Prep in March. You played in like 3 All-Star games, the Nike Hoops or the Nike Summit Classic, the Jordan All-Star game, the Ball is Life All-American game. And you just had your high school graduation ceremony on Friday and your graduation party yesterday. How does it feel to close the chapter on your high school and prep career?
It feels good. I've been looking forward to playing college ever since I was starting high school. So just knowing that my high school chapter is finally closed and I'm finally going to get to actually be out there and play basketball at LSU it's really exciting to me. So I'm super excited to just close this chapter and begin the next one.
Bella, let's kind of kick it off with how you finished your final season of prep in high school basketball. You played with the ABC Prep Lady Wolves that was coached by former Lobo Doris Gary. It was the first season for ABC Prep women's basketball. You guys started in November. You guys closed out the season in March. You made it to the Grind Session World Championships where you played in Loris, Kansas. You guys won a game and then I think lost to DME. But tell us how your final season of prep basketball played out.
It was good. I mean, I didn't really expect for us to do that well as we did, just because we were a first year team. We had a lot of younger girls, but I feel like we all kind of bought into the process, and it was just a great experience overall. I feel like I really got like on a college schedule playing for ABC Prep, so I feel like overall the experience was really good, and I think now I recommend a lot of like other high school athletes here to go the prep way, just because you get seen a lot more. So overall, I just think it was a great experience.
Talk about how your game grew, Bella. Obviously the shot clock is played on the grind session. You don't get that in New Mexico high school basketball. One of the stats that you had this year that kind of stood out to me, it seemed like your rebound count was up. It almost seemed like you were close to double-digit rebounds. I'm sure you may have been averaging that at some point during the season on the grind session. But just talk about how that part of your game, rebounding, kind of grew this season.
I mean, we were a very undersized team all year, so me being like one of the tallest on the team forced me to have to rebound. And then I feel like rebounding isn't really like a skill; it's just who wants it more. So I just feel like overall it's my last year playing high school basketball, so I just feel like I wanted to win every game, and if rebounding is what I had to do, then that's what I was going to do. But overall, I just feel like my game's grown a lot. I mean, Doris Gary's a great coach. We play very differently, so I feel like him implementing stuff that he's learned and his knowledge into my game has helped me a lot.
Dad, I'll turn it to you.
You know what, Bella, I wanted to ask you about that. You graduated yesterday from Gilbert Sena Charter School, and it just seems like the 3 years at Eldo, you had Coach Leroy Bardella, Coach Gary Ellis, and, then you made the decision to go to ABC Prep for your senior season. And how does it feel, again, to wrap that up? It seems like it went so fast, and, you did great things at ABC Prep your senior year. I got a little something that Doris told me a little while ago about you, but talk to us. Does it seem to have just flown by and you're ready to go to LSU starting next week?
Yeah, it definitely did fly by. I mean, I had fun at Eldo. I enjoyed my time at El Dorado and stuff. But I just feel like ABC Prep was like just such a great move for me. But overall, I just feel my high school experience was really good. It definitely went by really quick, but I'm just super excited to go play at LSU, honestly. I feel like this is everything I've worked for. So I just can't wait to get out there, and I leave next week. So I'm super excited.
It's kind of funny. I don't know if you knew this. Your mom probably told you, but your mom coached my niece and Nick's first cousin in volleyball years
Yeah.
ago. And so our my niece and Nick's cousin Sarah would remembered you when you were young. And so there was that. And she said your mom really worked him. Worked him hard, made him run. And my niece still remembered that. Doris Gary, you mentioned the former Lobo point guard and one of the best Lobo point guards we ever saw here. We saw Donovan Dent this year. He had a great season. You were too young to watch Doris, but he was one of the best that they ever had. And his young daughter is going to be one heck of a player. We've seen some film on her and posting up, making some moves in there already, showing strength, a desire, determination. But this is what he said about you. I asked him, she's going to have an amazing career. She's so competitive and has such a high ceiling. She makes the game easy as a coach. Now, we mentioned the coaches you had, Coach Bardella, when, early on, Coach Ellis, Coach Hill, Coach Jay Hill has worked with you a lot and putting up a lot of shots. What was it about, you mentioned Doris Gary helped you with your game as well. How did he help you become a better player?
Well, I mean, Doris has played at like the level I'm trying to get to. So just being able to learn from him and learn all the stuff that he's learned playing at that level has really helped me grow as a player and as a teammate just in general. So just like all the stuff we've worked on together, I work out with Tamaya, like you said, his younger daughter. So just trying to help her get my knowledge from the game and then just learning from Doris as much as I possibly can before I left really helped me grow as a player.
One of the things you said to Van Tate was about the shot clock. You're going to college, you're going to be playing with a shot clock. And New Mexico doesn't have one. And there's been a lot of talk about, New Mexico, and this is not said with any malice towards none, but New Mexico is probably always the last state to incorporate stuff like that. Talk a little bit about, you've already played with one. Talk a little bit about how it was, the adjustments you'll have to make. You'll be ready to make that adjustment, but talk about playing with the shot clock a little bit.
I'm kind of used to playing with the shot clock. I played with the shot clock in AAU, so it wasn't that big of like a switch for me. I mean, the game's a lot faster playing with the shot clock. I mean, like if you watch the game here in Albuquerque, you know that we don't have a shot clock, so just the game's a lot slower, a lot more stalling in games. So I feel like it's going to be an easy jump knowing that I played with a shot clock from my freshman year up to my senior year, even if it is in AAU. So I feel like overall, like the adjustment is going to be a lot easier than people think.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Go ahead, son.
Bella, wanted to take you back to August of 2024. Your club team in AAU on the EYBL circuit won, I believe it was the national championship with Cy-Fair Elite. Tell us about that experience and what you accomplished.
It was great. I mean, I was able to finish my last year with the national championship, so it was good. I gained a lot of new knowledge for the game, and it's like a lot of new relationships as well. So that was always super nice for me. And then both of our coaches for our team last year, they both played at a high level. One of our assistant coaches was actually the first player to ever get drafted out of Oklahoma. So just like being able to learn from all the new people and being able to go out on like the highest note we possibly could, it was a super fun experience.
Bella, wanted to ask you about this trio of all-star games that you played in April and May of 2025. Again, you played in the Jordan Brand Classic, I think in Washington, D.C., the Nike Hoop Summit in Portland, Oregon, and the Ball is Life All-American game in Long Beach, California. Tell us about your experiences playing in those games and what are some of the best memories you have?
I would definitely say my favorite experience was the Hoop Summit, just getting to meet a bunch of new people from around the country. I was able to represent Mexico for Team World, so that was honestly just an honor. And then just meeting all kinds of new people from around the world. I got really close with a few girls from out there. I feel like I built a lot of new friendships that I wouldn't have made. So I'm just super blessed to be able to that I was selected for them. And then Jordan Brand was super fun as well. You're surrounded by all the top girls in the country, so just being able to compete at a very high level is super fun as well. And then the Balls Life All-American Camp, they're a big media platform. So it was super fun. It was a good experience. I feel like overall, my last year being able to play high school related basketball was super fun.
Bella, I wanted to switch gears a little bit and ask you about your deal with the Jordan Brand, obviously signed last year, November 2024. Kind of just walk us through how you're able to secure that.
I mean, it was fun. The Jordan Brand's always super great to just be able to be represented by. I mean, not much to say about Jordan Brand. I love being a part of their thing. And going into LSU next year, I'll be surrounded with another girl that's signed with Jordan Brand, Michaela Williams. So I'm super excited.
Yeah. And then transition into LSU, you announced your commitment to LSU last April, I believe. There's a lot of attention around how much of an influence Coach Kim Mulkey has had, but just talk about the relationships that you've already kind of built with the LSU coaching staff, and then also a big recruiting class coming in for LSU next year. Zakiya Johnson, Divine Barrage, yourself, top 5 2025 NCAA women's recruiting class. So just talk about the relationships you've built.
I feel like I have very strong relationships with everybody, especially the freshmen that are coming in with me. We all were at a lot of the same camps for our final high school years. So, I mean, we all have a really close bond. And then me with Coach Mulkey and Coach G, we're just all super close, super family-oriented program. So I feel like that was also a big reason why I committed there. So just knowing that I have such a close bond with everybody, I'm super excited. And then I can't wait to play with Flajia, Michaela, and my Full Wiley now that she's there. So I'm just super excited overall.
Go ahead, Dad.
Bella, you mentioned that Kim Mulkey and the freshman class you're coming in with at LSU. You said this to Van Tate as well. It was just automatic connection with her, and there were some schools that you had to tell them you weren't coming to play, and Van asked you about that. But Kim Mulkey, 3 titles at Baylor, 1 at LSU, a legendary coach that won a title as a player, an assistant coach, and a head coach. Known flamboyant, known for her outfits, man. She's she's very well known, and she'll speak her mind. Has she given you what kind? Tell us a little bit about how that relationship has come to bear. It's not over with yet. What has she told you coming in? You're going down there Thursday. What has she said to be ready for? It's got to be exciting. We're excited for you. We've had some great basketball players here in this state, and you're definitely at the top of the list as far as girls basketball player here in the state of New Mexico. So tell us what she's told you, what to be ready for. Has she given you a list of things? Have you gone through a workout with them when you were there? Tell us things like that.
I mean, I'm not really too sure on 1,000% what to expect. I mean, I know I'm going out there to work a few camps. That's like the month of June is mostly for like team camps and stuff like that. So I know like me and one of the other freshmen that are leaving with me at the same time, we'll be working a lot of camps and stuff and just getting like in shape for the season overall. So I'm just excited to get out there. And then me and Coach Mulkey, obviously, we have a really close bond. I feel like out of all the coaches I've talked to, I connected with her the most. So just being able to have that good connection with her and just know that I'm going to a place where it also feels like a big family is actually making it a lot easier for me to leave home. So just overall, I have a great bond with Coach Mulkey. And honestly, I'm kind of like on the verge of I don't really know what to expect when I get out there, but I just know I'm ready and I'm excited.
You are known to put in the work. There's no doubt about that. In fact, when I contacted your mom the other night, I think you were out there shooting and working out, putting up shots. You were again. I think this is a moment you've been ready for. You've worked for, and it's got to be. One of the things you said though on the show with Van, who did a great job in the interview. You mentioned you mentioned crawfish, and I had to laugh about that because you said just tear the head off and it's good. And Van was not like that. But I got to ask you this: New Mexico is known for its food, right? I mean, New Mexico. Okay, so you mentioned they had a bunch of crawfish for you, and you like seafood. How much are you going to miss New Mexican food?
Oh, I'm gonna miss it a lot. Like New Mexican food is my favorite. Thank you, Mom. New Mexican food is my favorite type of food. So, I mean, I think I'm gonna miss the green chili, the red chili the most. But I mean, I love seafood too. So I feel like it'll be a little bit hard, but overall, I think I'm gonna miss New Mexican food more than anything.
It's a cultural change too. But I think the other thing is this: is that she's Coach Mulkey. You've played in a program at El Dorado. You helped them a lot get to the state tournament when you were a junior, and they hadn't been for a while. ABC Prep has had some success in their winning program. You're going to a program that has a culture of winning. They're expected to win. They're expected to compete for national championships. Talk to us about, I think you mentioned that's one of your goals to win a national championship, maybe coach down the line, and play in the WNBA if possible. You met Angel Reese. You mentioned that. Your brother got to take a picture with Angel Reese. Talk a little bit about your goals when you go to play at LSU.
Honestly, I'd say like my biggest goal is to definitely win a championship. I'm not really going out there to say my goal is to score 30 every game or anything like that. I'm definitely gonna do whatever I can to help us win my biggest goal, which is obviously national championship. So I'm just gonna do whatever I can to help us win. And like you said, they're part of a winning culture, so I'm ready to go out there and just help them win. I feel like coming into my freshman year, we have a great recruiting class. We have great returners, so I feel like out of all the schools right now, we have a really big chance to win one.
That's got to be exciting. No, and just going to play there, and you put on the purple jersey already. We've got a picture of you in it, and that's that. And just being with a coach, a story coach like Kim Mulkey, that's got to be just a dream, and you're about to live it. And you worked for it. It wasn't given to you. You worked for it. You've earned it. But I got another quote from former UNM head coach Yvonne Sanchez, who's a big fan of yours as well. She's going to be just fine at LSU. She'll work hard. She'll have to be coachable, which I think she is. She has the talent. So I think that's, Coach Sanchez, I have a lot of respect for her knowledge of the game. And we had a chance to talk earlier today. So it's just got to be one of those things where you're very excited to get there. It seems like a journey, right? And things your mom and dad, that Michelle and Josh probably say, and your brother, you mentioned you're very close to your sister and, your brother, but they probably feel like, gosh, she grew up so quick. It happened like that. And now they're going to have a chance to watch you play at one of the top universities in the land. They have to be very excited about that.
Yeah, they're definitely super excited. I mean, I'm excited as well. This is definitely like a dream come true to me. Coach Mulkey's obviously one of like the greatest coaches to ever do it. She's up there with Gina Ariema and Coach K. So just being able to go play for her is honestly just a blessing. And then, like you said, Coach Yvonne Sanchez, me and her talk quite often. Not as much now that I'm committed, just because like it's different because she's coaching at ASU. So it's a little bit different, but we still stay in contact. I mean, she's a great person overall, and I feel like I'm a very coachable kid, so I feel like going into LSU will be like a very big deal. So I'm just super excited. I can't wait to get out there.
I could tell your angst, man. You're anxious. You can't wait. It's like you probably want to come so fast in time. I think when you're younger, when you get older, it seems like it goes so quick. But actually, Coach Sanchez, just so you know, Bella, she retired out there. She's not coaching anymore. we had a chance to talk a few weeks ago, just today. Her and I talked real quick. And my son and I didn't get a chance to work with her. I've worked with a lot of my son is one of the top play-by-play guys and one of the top color commentators on our network. But when we work with her, man, she's a she calls things in a different way as far as being an ex-coach. She saw things from a different standpoint as far as calling plays and sets. So and just a great person. Her and her brother Roy, the head basketball coach and the athletic director at El Dorado, just two of the finest people you can meet. Son, go ahead.
Bella, you're going to an SEC powerhouse. I mean, LSU women's basketball obviously won the national championship a couple years ago, got to the Elite Eight last year. But LSU, it's just a sports school. I mean, their football team's really good. A lot of other sports are pretty competitive. Are you looking forward to kind of being a part of that next year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I have a bunch of friends who are also committed to SEC schools, so I can't wait to play against South Carolina. I have a really close friend that got McCure. She's committed to South Carolina, so I'll get to play against her next year. And then Denia Pearl plays for Tennessee, so I'm just excited to play against a bunch of my friends and just play against great competition every game. I mean, I feel like SEC is the best conference, so I just can't wait to be a part of it.
Bella, it's probably too early to tell. From what I read, LSU's losing quite a bit from last year's roster. I read somewhere that it could be potentially 13 players gone from last year's LSU's roster, which means there could be an opportunity for you to see some significant minutes next year. What are your expectations?
Honestly, I feel like we could have 15 players on the bench. We could have however many players, but I just feel like as long as I work hard and I do my job, I'll be able to get minutes. I mean, we have a great team coming back. I mean, we have Malaysia Fulwiley, we have Michaela Williams and Flau'jae Johnson, which are great players, obviously. But I feel like overall, if I just do my job and I work as hard as I can out there, I'll be able to get good minutes and just good time. But honestly, I'm just going to do whatever I can to help us win.
One more question for you, Bella. It's from our producer, Ryan Tamari. Are you excited to go watch a football game in Death Valley at Tiger Stadium?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've already been to a baseball game out there, so I think football will definitely be the next one.
Dad, I'll kick it to you.
Bella, we just got a couple more for you. One of the things that you mentioned with Van Tate is you love Lego building. And I was interested with that. My great nephew loved Nick, your cousin Maka loves Lego building. And everybody's got different things to unwind. And tell us a little bit about that. I think I can't remember what you said you built, but talk to us a little bit about your Lego hobby.
I mean, I feel like it's more of just like an outlet from basketball. It's very calming to me, and it helps me get off like my phone and stuff, like get off social media. Because when I build my Legos, I try to put my phone down. I don't go on it very much. So I feel like that's kind of like my stress reliever. It gets me off social media, so I'm not checking my phone constantly. And then it's obviously my outlet for basketball too. So I just feel like it's very relaxing and very calming. So I love building Legos. I'll build whatever.
Yeah, my great nephew loves to do that too. I don't think we asked you this, and we should, because it's a focus on basketball. Eat, sleep, wake up, work out. It's almost in the great Kobe Bryant would work out at 4 a.m, eat breakfast, right? Go work out again at noon, and then eat lunch, and then go work out in the evening. And he did that at the professional level. But you're also going to school for an education. So what is it you plan to pursue education-wise at LSU? What do you plan to pursue?
Honestly, it's still kind of up in the air for me right now. I've done a lot of things with like teaching and working with young children and stuff like that in high school. So I'm still debating on if I want to do that in college and focus on that, or if I want to get into like more photography and stuff, because I find that really interesting. So I don't know. It's kind of deciding between those two right now, but I'm definitely going to figure it out by the time I get there.
You mentioned also maybe someday when you're all said and done playing, and that could be another 15, 20 years, could be a long time, that someday you might want to coach.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love being around basketball, and I'd love to come back and be able to just help kids grow as players and as people. So definitely coaching is like a big factor that I want to do in the future. I'm not sure when that is, but I definitely want to coach in the future.
Well, you've been lucky. You've been coached by some of the best. You really have. Every coach that I mentioned, I think the world of Coach Ellis, Coach Bodella, Coach. You worked out with Coach Hill for a long time, and Jay back in the day at Western New Mexico when he played was one of the leaders in field goal percentage. Jay was a heck of a player and a heck of a good coach. So I think you've been taught by a lot of good people and are ready to make that next step, anxious to make that next step. And state of New Mexico is very proud to see you going to that university there, and we'll definitely be keeping a close eye. Son, you got anything else?
2 more questions for you, Bella. What is the thing of all the things you've accomplished, in your high school and prep career, achieving 3,000 points, becoming the leading scorer in Albuquerque public school history, winning a club basketball national championship? You've accomplished so much. What's the thing or 2 that stand out the most to you?
I'd say the thing that stands out the most to me is definitely winning Nike Nationals. I feel like not a lot of people at all have ever been able to say they've won one. And it's not just playing against like the best people in your state, it's playing against the best people in the world. So like just being able to win one of those is just so special to me. And I got to win it with my best friend Gemini too. So it just meant the world to me being able to win that.
Last question, Bella. You got a lot of fans here. Man, I was talking to my dad before. I was like, man, I think Bella Hines has reached the status of legend as a New Mexico basketball player. So what's your message to your fans as you make this next chapter in your book?
Honestly, I would say like my message to other people is just keep working hard. Don't focus on where you're from or but like all the outside noise. Just tune it out and keep playing and keep working as hard as you possibly can. And then I would just say stay tuned in for us or for me in general. And then LSU in general, I can't wait to be out there, and I can't wait to just get out there, honestly.
For sure. Dad, anything else?
I think one of the things you said too, Bella, and I found it very interesting when Van asked you, you kind of talk some trash. Y'all can't guard me, stuff like that, and keeps you going though. You got to have, in the competition you're playing. You mentioned one game where Coach Hill had to sit on the concrete. There was no seats for him. So, you played in front of a lot of big crowds, a lot of great atmospheres, and I don't think there's anything about playing at LSU that's going to intimidate you. I think you're ready for this. You're anxious, like I said, anxious for it. And so we wish you all the best of luck out there for sure.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
All right, Bella, have a good night. We'll kick it to a quick commercial break and be right back on Road to the Pit Live.
At a time when every dollar counts, Capital Ford in Santa Fe is stepping up and offering employee pricing for everyone. Yes, employee pricing for everyone is now available on new Fords. You pay what Ford employees pay. Employee pricing means save up to $9,000 off MSRP on a new 25 Ford F-150 or save up to $4,800 off plus 3.9% APR on a new 24 Ford Bronco. From America, for America. We're Capital Ford in Santa Fe.
Nick, I don't know if you want to take over.
No, man, we're glad to have you join. And man, Dad, thank you for contacting Bella Hines' mother, and thank you to Bella Hines for joining us tonight. Man, what a phenomenal story she had. I thought she was great, Dad.
You know what? I got to tell you, I think, son, you know what? Everything's been said. It's a goal that she's probably had to get to LSU, or she was recruited by a lot of colleges. She told Van Tate that it was hard for her to tell TCU and a couple of those other schools no. So I think when you're like, what, 3 or 4 days from going to play at LSU, one of the top schools in the country, she's anxious, she's nervous, but she's ready. And Kim Mulkey, the coach over there, man, that lady, like I said, flamboyant, 4 titles. Coach Brittany Griner, coached Angel Reese. Her brother got to meet Angel Reese. She's already part of that culture there. They're looking forward to her being there. So as athletes from New Mexico, we don't see a lot of athletes get big scholarships. Zach Gentry went to Michigan, and he did pretty well there. Played in the pros for a couple of years, but it's always good to see a New Mexican athlete succeed beyond our wildest dreams. So I think she's a little nervous. There's no doubt about it. She's nervous, but she wants to get there. And Nick, I thought you did a great job of laying out all the things she did, to get to this point. 32 points to see a game when she's a junior, over 2,000 points at El Dorado, and then going to ABC Prep. You imagine playing at that highest level there at LSU. And again, they're going to definitely contend for a championship at the national level. So I thought she was great.
Yeah, Ryan, you're not the basketball guy per se, but just kind of objectively speaking, what did you think?
I had the old ticker running. Sorry about that. I didn't think I was going to join, so I'm sorry for the lighting and whatnot. I'm very good at losing money on college basketball, and I think. I was more entrenched in the God, I can see that my reflection. Anyway, I was more entrenched in the women's college basketball tournament the last 2 years, 3 years. I have an aunt that was in town last year for the tournament and during the tournament, and all we had on was the women's tournament, which last year I thought was a lot better than the men's. But for her to go to LSU, I think is very cool. And Kim Mulkey, and that's a big statement, I think, for New Mexico, given, I don't know, maybe the lack of it not being Texas or California or Arizona or New Jersey or Florida. Your havens of professional athletes or 5-star recruits or 4-star recruits. I think it's really good. And, I, being the selfish guy that I am, listening to the whole thing, I love Doris, so very happy for Doris Gary in this whole situation in ABC Academy.
Yeah, no, and just my 2 cents, man. I think I only got to announce one of Bella's games, Dad, but you did quite a few more, and just her competitive spirit. I mean, I think it shows in the way that she interviews and the way that she answers questions. The work ethic kind of speaks for itself. So I think she's going to do great. I think she's going to do fantastic.
I forgot to mention this. I did one of her games against West Mesa when she hit them with 50, had a 50 piece against West Mesa. And I got to tell you that after the game, we're interviewing her again. She's the player of the game. And a West Mesa parent came to me and said, why is it always Bella Hines? I said, ma'am, she just scored 50 points. What do you want me to do? Of course she's the player of the game. And I just was taken aback by that because she deserved to be, the player of the game. I think she had 53 that night. If I remember right, hit like 25 free throws. We were a very good free throw shooter too. I got to see her in some games. So did you, Nick. I think I did do more of her games than you did, but you got to see her play a lot, and you heard a lot about her and some of the people that trained her. You're well aware of them, and she puts in the work. Coach Hill would say that. Jay Hill would tell me that all the time. That sometimes he had to tell her, unwind, okay, take a break, because she's there morning, noon, and night sometimes. And she's got other interests, as we mentioned. And school, she's not sure what she's going to major in yet, but she has academic challenges there too. Any freshman does. You have to take your basics or whatever. But, they've got advisors and tutors at the college level there. So they'll help her out, whatever she needs there to succeed. I think she's going to she's going to be a great college player. You know, when I heard that from Yvonne Sanchez, who I really respect a lot, and we knew that anyway. But you always want to get other people's opinions that are coaches. So I think she's going to do great. She seems really ready for it too. So yeah, I think she's going to do a great job.
Ryan, one of the things you mentioned in our group chat, and one of the things she actually said was that she had went to an LSU baseball game. You were at UNM baseball this weekend. I think the next step for UNM baseball, Ryan, is the Mountain West tournament. But how'd the Lobos play this weekend?
Oh, great transition. You should host the show. I went Thursday night. I couldn't make it Friday. I was going to try, but I also have a day job, so I can live and provide for myself and my child and my mother. I went Thursday night and I froze my ass off. Just throwing that out there in May, in the middle of May. It was cold. Great game to watch. UNM blew the lead. Yeah, they had a 5. I think it was. They blew a lead. They lost 7-5. I went Sunday. It was a nice day. It was senior day. The Bats showed up against Fresno. They will, and it's not a knock. I think it was always under Ray Birmingham. By the way, side note, who I've spoken to, he will be joining us. I don't know when. He told me he was in Europe. I don't know if I necessarily understood his text, but he will be joining us. I had the pleasure of covering, reporting on UNM baseball when he was the head coach, and he was by far the best out of everybody, the best person to talk to. Pitching just seems to be a downfall for UNM. It was first 2 innings on Sunday, or excuse me, yesterday. What did I say? Sunday? I meant yesterday. I thought today was Monday. They normally play Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. They played Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend. It was a quick 2 first innings. I mean, boom, 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 1, 2, 3, or top of the first inning, top of the second, and then UNM scored 4, and then Fresno answered right back. So that was, pretty bizarre. This was a team that had won like 8 of 11 or 7 of 10, and then they went to San Diego, played well against San Diego State. They ended up going to Air Force last weekend and dropping 2 of 3, and they had lost, I think it was 4 in a row. So, or was it 3 of 4? So they had the opportunity to actually win the Mountain West Conference outright. They needed Nevada to lose, and Nevada took care of business against San Jose State this week. But as far as to get to your point, Nick, this isn't really getting to your point, but side note, this team is like batting average, I think, is number 1 in the country. They're fun to watch at home. Obviously, the elevation helps them. They score runs aplenty. I mean, every game I went to, Friday's game was 4.5 hours. I think it finished 13-11. So if you were a betting man, over is the way to go. But I mean, they have, the outfielder Will Asby, first baseman Ethan Ott. They've got another outfielder, Ty Wood. Yesterday, game-winning catch in center field, Khalil Walker made a great diving catch. So they've got a lot of playmakers. And as they were introducing the seniors, it felt like a lot of them transferred from Pima Community College. So it's a lot of guys that have played in the Arizona ranks, and a couple of local kids. I don't know. They're fun to watch. I mean, if you are truly going for offense, they are fun to watch. They will play Wednesday at, I believe, 2:00. It is on golobos.com. But I mean, they're one of 6 teams in the conference tournament, and they're playing for a right to win an at-large berth to the NCAA tournament. There's not more you could ask for. Or maybe that's a conversation adding to it we have sometime this week where UNM athletics was this year, because they're seeing. I don't follow track and field, but the success the track and field team had in the last 48 hours, 24 hours, is how this department actually did this year. Nick, I'm sorry, that was a long-winded answer, but offensively, they're fun to watch. Pitching, which I know Todd Brown has mentioned, is defense. I've always said defense. You don't score, I win. So it's that point. But Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think you hit it, Ryan. Women's track for UNM was named Mountain West Conference champions. So I think it's been a good year for the athletic department. Excited for baseball, man. You know, they have a chance to make a run in the Mountain West and see if they can get into the tournament. But no, it's exciting. Real quick, Ryan, if we may, I mean, it was state baseball, state softball this weekend, along with state track for high school sports. Um, Dad, you called the 2A and 3A baseball state championships. Tell us a little bit about those if you can.
I will
Yeah,
have a question when you guys are done. Sorry to interrupt.
Loving, yeah, they had a Loving and Eunice. Loving beat Eunice. I'm sorry, Loving beat the number 1 seed Eunice on Friday and faced Santa Rosa, and they were up 6-1 in the bottom of the sixth, 6-1, and they couldn't find the home plate. Man, 600 runs for Santa Rosa, 600. They must. I think Loving walked 18 batters, and they just couldn't find the home plate. Their starter did pretty well, but then they took him out in the 4th inning, and the next guy Ansuris, their shortstop Tristan Ansuris, did okay, and then he just started having trouble finding home plate. The next 2 pitchers, they walked 18 batters, and Santa Rosa comes away with an unlikely 7-6 championship win in that game, and Loving has to be feeling sick about it because they inflicted a lot of that damage on themselves. And the next game, New Mexico Military beat Las Vegas Robertson 6-1. Tegan Maloney, the pitcher for New Mexico Military, struck out 15. Really mixed up a breaking ball and a fastball, and just did really well. Some timely hitting by the Colts, the number 1 seed, so they come away with that win there yesterday. And Nick, you had the Artesia Bloomfield game, so you might want to tell our listeners about that one.
Yeah, real quick. It was Artesia and Bloomfield in Class 4A. Artesia was the 1 seed. Bloomfield was the 6 seed. Artesia won at 6-3. Kind of a defensive game, although both teams had players on base and opportunities to score, just couldn't quite capitalize. There was kind of a lot of wind, excuse me, at the Jennifer Reardon Sports Complex, kind of in the 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock window on Saturday. So Artesia struck first. They went up 3-0, I believe, in the bottom of the second. Then Bloomfield tied it up with 3 runs in the top of the 4th, and then Artesia put in 3 runs, I believe, in the bottom of the 5th. So pretty good game from both teams. It was competitive, especially when Bloomfield tied it up. I was privileged to do the game with New Mexico high school legend in baseball, Ron Murphy, 4-time state champion, most wins by any baseball coach in New Mexico high school baseball in history with 629. Just, man, knows more baseball in his pinky fingernail than I know in my whole head. So just was very fortunate to do the game with him. But Ryan, you had a question. Sorry.
Somebody's got to explain to me what happened to La Cueva, right?
Yeah. We both left, right, Dad? That was in the it was the quarterfinal on Thursday, and that was on Field 1. They had the 6:30 p.m. quarterfinal game. They played against Los Lunas, who they had played twice this season. They beat them 8-4 in the APS Metro tournament and then beat them at home again. I had the game at La Cueva, and Los Lunas was up, I want to say, 2-1 through 4 innings. And then La Cueva just in the bottom of the 5th. I don't remember how many runs they scored, but that's when the bats came to play. What happened on Thursday, from what I was told and what I read, I didn't see the game, but La Cueva went up 6-0 in the bottom of the 1st and then didn't score the rest of the game. And I don't remember who they had on the mound, but, from what I heard, it was just kind of one of those, they let their foot off the gas kind of deals. And then Los Lunas, they brought in a pitcher. I think his name is JJ Utash, and he actually pitched against La Cueva when I had them. And man, that kid was nice on the mound. I don't remember how many strikeouts he had, but just really good pitcher. He's big. He's like almost 6 feet and just has a real good body on him. Los Lunas ended up winning that one 9-6 and upsetting La Cueva.
There was an error. This is they went through the second baseman for La Cueva, went through his glove, and then went through the right fielder, went to the wall. And Los Lunas scored 3 runs, on an error. And I talked to the Los Lunas coach, Paul Ceremans. I saw him in the hospitality room, and it's the breaks of the game. My son and I used to talk about it all the time. Those kind of things usually don't happen to a La Cueva. They're the defending champs. They won 7 titles, I believe. Son, is that right?
I
7.
think it's 12.
12. Gosh, okay. Maybe it's just 7 for Pineda, for Coach Pineda. They won some under Coach McKeever too. So those are kinds of things that they don't happen to La Cueva usually. And when I talked to Coach Sirmans, they lost El Dorado, Sandia, the eventual champ, beating El Dorado in 5A yesterday. Sandia's first championship since 1980. And Coach Mark Hilton coming back there as he graduated. He used to coach at St. Pius. And you remember him, Ryan, when he coached at Pius. But he went back to Sandia and won the championship there at his alma mater. So that's got to feel pretty good. But those, again, La Cueva was in control of their own destiny. As a matter of fact, they had gone up 6-0 and looked like they might close the door. And then Los Lunas came back and give Los Lunas credit. So, there's a new champion in 5A, and it's the Sandia Matadors, and things like that happen. I do want to mention softball real quick. Centennial undefeated under Fernie Valles. They went undefeated and win the 5A title, beating La Cueva. And Silver, down there in Silver City, where Western New Mexico is, won their 14th championship. So a couple of softball scores for you there too.
Yeah, and then I'll round out, Ryan, then I'll kick it back to you. Class 3A, it was Cobre defeating Dexter 5-4. Cobre was the 2 seed, Dexter was the 1. And then the combined class of Class 2A and Class 1A, Loving defeated Hozo Academy 15-0. So a lot of baseball and softball this weekend for New Mexico High School. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, when I was at the stadium yesterday, Santa Ana Star Field, both those games were going on, and it felt like I think I was there for actually 2 softball games the entire duration I was there for baseball. So shows you how quick that goes. I'm bringing up the 2025 bracket. Yeah, I lost my train of thought there. Thanks, Nick. Credit Union won Mountain West Baseball Championship. There you go. Again, yeah, I was right. It's Wednesday at 2:00, 2:05 first pitch on Wednesday for the Lobos and the Spartans. I think they should beat them. Again, they had the opportunity to get the 2 seed, and Fresno took 2 of 3 this weekend, so that put the kibosh on that.
Yeah. Ryan, real quick on this bracket. I mean, the Mountain West only has 8 teams in the conference that play baseball. Is that right?
It's Nevada, San Jose. Yes, because Air Force is in there. Washington State was in there this year. Oh goodness.
No, I don't mean to put you on the spot, man. I'm just trying to process this bracket because it's a 6-team bracket. We get the 3
and a round robin.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's a round robin. That's how this.
Yeah. So you'll see that there as I try to explain. I loved covering college baseball in college, and then I watched the tournament, and that's about it. And then since we've been doing this, I've tried to keep up with a little bit more local baseball. So the only 2 teams that didn't make the tournament were Air Force and Washington State. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Yeah. You know why I don't feel as bad with this is because when we had BJ Rains on from Bronco Nation News, I asked him what he knew about BSU basketball, and he said, I'm going to be honest with you, nothing. So I feel better when doing this, saying him telling me that while we're hosting this. I didn't know that. I think what I remember when I was in college, it was a 4-team playoff, but it's a round robin. So if you see there, if everybody can see that as best as you can, the Lobos win, they'll take on Fresno. The loser of that game, I think, is out. Oh no, they'll play Nevada. No, they're out. And then it's a round robin. So you have to lose twice, I think.
Yeah. Well,
I feel really stupid on air doing this, but yeah.
No, you're good. I think if they win, you're right, because it says game 1 between New Mexico and San Jose State, and then it says game 1 winner. So yeah, I think they would play Fresno State. If they win, it looks like that'll be on May 22nd at 6:05 Pacific.
That'll be Thursday if they win. And then obviously game 4, they would still end up on this end of the bracket. So obviously, the higher seed, goes and plays the lower seed, that I know. But yeah, I think they've changed this format again, I'm not up to snuff on my college baseball.
No, that's all right.
So forgive
Neither
me.
am I. I've
Well,
only
yeah, and I do love, I'm a baseball guy through and through. But I watch the majors, so it's on a daily basis. Which is something very weird is going on because I've watched a little bit more NBA. I wonder why. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for him. I'm going to have that game on Wednesday, and obviously, if they win, there's plenty to. They will play. They'll play Friday, game 4. Loser. Yeah, they'll play Friday. I don't know. I mean, I'll be watching. We try to give you more coverage. Not as bad as that segment. I mean, I don't know many college baseball gurus. I could bug Chris Jackson over at KOB. He was a baseball writer. Great guy. Love him. He would know. But yeah, I mean, kudos to Todd Brown. I mean, this was a program that Ray Birmingham, I mean, it kind of went a little bit dormant, and then obviously COVID. And Ray Birmingham completely changed the program around about 15 years ago. So, and they were a lot of fun to watch. I mean, Mitch Garver, DJ Peterson, I believe there's a guy named Ryan Honeywell. If you remember, I was able to see Steven Strasburg pitch here at Ice Oaks Park when he was with San Diego. Wow. Yeah, it was very cool.
Yep. And then who they have? I mean, they play San Jose State, and you had that series, right, Ryan? You put an article on our platform, the Pitt Press NM, in the news and article section.
Yeah, I did. They took 2 or 3 from them. Really high scoring, if I remember correctly. It was about 2-3 weeks ago. The game that I went to, San Jose State won, but they had run ruled them on Friday, which again is new. They run ruled them. UNM run ruled San Jose State on Friday and Saturday of that series. I think the first game was like 20-5. So if you're up 10 or more going into the 7th inning of college baseball now, both managers can agree game's over. So UNM, when they were hot and they had won like 7 of 10 or 8 of 11, they handled San Jose State here. Again, I'm not going to sit back and pretend I know everything. I know that Fresno State has some bats. And the 2 games I went to, what was the kid's name? Bobby. I mean, I was sitting next to one of the managers for the baseball team and then some of the family members in front of me. And I was like, the guy's name was Bobby Blandfield. And I was like, that is a baseball name. And he hit a piss rocket. Sorry for my language, all the way over the right field line. And then yesterday, by the way, Fresno State had a guy named Lee Trevino on their team. So
really?
Yeah. Ed, you'll love that. Guy by the name of he had a nickname. I think it was Gray Murph or Trey Murph for Fresno State. Big guy. He hit and the kid that came in was senior Dylan Pengali, I think. I forgot his first name. Last name's Pengali, and I'm sorry. Hadn't pitched, I believe, in a month. I'd overheard the parents talking. He came in, pitched 3 innings. That was his only mistake. But the home run by this Fresno State kid hit the Rudy Davilo Center.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a shot.
He took a big fat what on it, and it was over. Yeah, that's how I talking baseball. Eric's gonna ream me tomorrow for that as I say it like that. Yeah, Eric's gonna not be happy with the word choice there, but no, he blasted that and it hit the Rudy Davilo Center. And I was just like, I thought the one on Thursday by that other Blandfield kid, and it was a windy, and he smashed it. And right as he said that, we were talking in mid conversation to the manager, and I was just all, oh shit, and it flew. And then that was my major league moment. And then the one yesterday, man, it was just, I don't know. I think if you're looking for kind of excitement, and I don't think all of college baseball is like that. I mean, those games were a lot of fun and it was a lot of runs. So, and the crowd on Thursday was great. The weekend was free. Again, I have to give kudos to Fernando Lobo. The games were free all 3 days. So, I mean, they redid it. I think the area looks nice. The way you walk in from the west, kind of the southwest side of the pit, that wasn't the way it was ages ago. You kind of parked in the dirt on the south side of the field, but the way you enter, I don't know. They did a pretty good job. I think I heard that they're trying to do a little bit more renovations, but every time I went this year, there was a really good crowd, and there was a good crowd on Thursday and obviously yesterday for senior day, but I'm rambling. I don't know. It's Nick, you went to the New Mexico State game. We met up for that. I don't know what you thought of that.
Yeah, no, I remember, God, was it Ty Wood that had a leadoff home run? That game, I can't remember specifically, man. It's been a while. But no, I think everything you said about their offensive firepower and their playmakers really kind of was on display there early. I don't remember the final score they had on New Mexico State. I think New Mexico State kind of made a little bit of a run midway through the game. But yeah, I think the big question mark for UNM has been consistent pitching. But shoot, man, if those guys can hit, get on base, if they can score, and they get just enough pitching, they can make a run in the Mountain West tournament, and then anything can happen. So yeah, man, we'll see what happens. Ryan, I don't know what you can share about our summer series coming up in a couple weeks. Together We Howl.
I guess I can start mentioning it tonight. We are going to be back. Sorry for taking off last week because I know everybody missed me rambling. Didn't want to compete with the NFL schedule release, and then Thursday night was the Fresno State game. So we took a week off, and obviously now we're getting into the lull of the season. Nick Lawrenson, side note for the show this week, Nick Lawrenson talked to Rob Portnoy. I think he'll join us when we get back. Again, Ray Birmingham. I've talked to a couple of, I mentioned earlier on, we felt like Ed and I did a Lobo Legend series, and it was strictly men's basketball. Now, obviously, we want to continue to do that, but I thought, hey, it might be good to talk to other people who played other sports. And I knew specifically two females. I graduated high school with Jeannie Fairchild. She was an All-American volleyball player. My buddy Danny, who I graduated high school with, is married to an All-American track star in Sandy Martin. Talked to Danny. He said she would love to do it. Just need to get a date. And I know Jeannie had said sometime in May. So those are two. And then Ed and I are going to talk and see what else we can do. But we will be back Tuesday and Thursday this week with shows. Again, Nick Lawrenson, Jeff Goodman from the Field of 68 is going to join us in June. I talked to him. But the Together We Howl series, and there'll be more information coming out. And this will be kind of a Cliff Notes type version of what I'm about to explain. But basically, 505 Sports Venture Foundation and Kurt Roth came to us, and the revenue sharing is over my head. So we are working with 505 Sports Venture Foundation to bring a series every Wednesday, and it's going to be starting now at the beginning of June. So June 4th. I'm going to probably facilitate it, but Kurt Roth will be on. Mackenzie Bishop from 505 Sports Venture Foundation, Lobo Club, Bo Davidson. I almost called him Bo Woodward, another guy I graduated high school with. Bo Davidson, the GM of the UNM football team, will be joining us. Then they want to get Eric Olin back on, some players, some of the new transfers, some assistant coaches. Jason Eck, offensive and defensive coordinator. Side note, Daniel DePrado, interview from like a week or two ago. He's the associate head coach and special teams coach for UNM football. He's fantastic. He was at the game yesterday too, showing support. But yeah, that's where we're at. So it's going to be a series every Wednesday. More information will coming out. I don't want to say anything wrong, but I'm looking forward to that. Getting kind of a partnership, and Kurt and Mackenzie have been really good to us. And I think when we've said, "Hey, can you join us to come on the show?" they've usually said, "Hell yeah." And I got to give Mackenzie kudos all the world. He was like, "We need to do a show Sunday morning of the Michigan State game, the second round of the tournament." I was like, "Yeah, okay." Well, I was in Cleveland. So they've always been really cool and really, I don't want to use the word flexible, but like, hey, yeah, we'll come on. And our channel is blown up when they're on. So why not with that partnership? But yeah, we're looking to do that series. And I think the emphasis of it is going to be, where does UNM move forward with NIL and revenue sharing, which again is something much like college baseball. I don't understand. And I know July 1's a big thing, a big date in all of this. As much sports as I watch basically from Labor Day through now, I love other things besides sports. And as we inch towards the beginning of June, my degrees in history, I reread Band of Brothers. I reread With the Old Breed. I'm trying to read Masters of the Air, which is a massive 1,000-page book. And then I rewatch like Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan in the Pacific. And I get into a little bit of a World War II funk every June. And that's where I'm at. But to condense my rambling there, I mean, I don't know, Nick, if you have anything to say. I know I have to explain more to you, but I'm just throwing that out there, and the ball's in your court, so I'm not rambling.
No, you're fine, man. I mean, I'm excited, to kind of see how UNM is going to develop with all this uncertainty with revenue sharing, like you were mentioning, Ryan. We kind of talked about it the last show, the status of the House settlement. It still hasn't gotten final approval yet. The parties keep submitting briefing to Judge Wilkin. New parties are coming in, filing like motions and papers with the court, asking the judge to do certain things. So it's just so uncertain right now. And there's just not a ton of information of how UNM is going to move forward. So having Kurt and McKinsey on and other hopeful leaders from UNM who can kind of explain what's going to happen come the fall, I think will be great for our listeners and for our viewers.
No, and again, the president of the United States, regardless of how you feel about him, could intervene. I mean, he said he was talking to Saban, and there was rumors he was going to make an executive order, but I feel like that was, all talk. I think there are bigger fish to fry than college athletics, but again, big money maker. So that could change everything. I'm not trying to get political. It's just the way I see it presented. Ed, I don't know if you have anything to say.
I think it's going to be you and I talked about it. I think the revenue sharing and streaming and things like that seems to be changing. It's something every university has to know about. The football team brought in a general manager, something we've never heard of that before. So everybody has to have a handle on it's changing. It's changing minute by minute. Rosters aren't the same from year to year. We said that to Coach Mike Roberts, assistant coach Mike Roberts. What's your feeling on a new roster, new system, new everything with the coach Patino leaving to Xavier? So whoever's going to come, Coach Owens here, Coach Davidson helping Coach Eck out. You have to have people that know about the NIL, and so I think I'm looking forward to the series. And as you mentioned, you'll be facilitating. We'll be still actively involved, in that. In some shows more than others, as you mentioned. Some not so much, but it's a platform, and it's important to note this that you and Eric started. So I think it's important. This isn't a knocker on anybody. This is something good for the Pitt Press, because you mentioned ratings go up when Kurt and McKinsey are on, and they do. They reached out to you. They reached out to you and to use this platform, and I can't emphasize that enough. To a point, and I'm not knocking anyone. You and Eric had a vision. Eric Moulton had a vision of more Lobo coverage. I don't think that you ever saw that was going to jump this quick, this fast. And I think it's a testament to you and Eric. And I know my son and I are very, very happy to be part of it. But I think, again, this is something this is the Pitt Press live. The Pitt Press, that's the bottom line to me. Again, good, going to be great, but it's the Pitt Press, period. They came to reach out to you. They're using our platform. So I think that's great. I really do.
Well, no, I've been very appreciative of you and of your son and Nick. And I was trying to the guy who, Nick, I'm going to go with the joke there, the guy who said that this show needed more Nick Nunez. I really was trying to make a soundbite that was now with more Nick Nunez and less Ryan Tamori.
No, don't. Please. This show needs you, Ryan. You are the personality of this show.
I try. I know I ramble too much, but then again, this was created to be a conversation. My background is the writing. And sometimes, as I've mentioned, so I have a life. This takes up a lot of my time. Some shows I'm more prepared for, and some shows I'm not. For the most part, we do this for free. It's just my background is in it. You guys are play by play. I can tell you this, and I'm going to be a little vulgar here. I'm not trying to suck each other off here, but we wouldn't be where Eric, like without Eric Moulton, everything, and I know Eric joins when he can. He's got 2 kids. He's got 2 little ones. And he joins us when he can. But everything you see is behind the scenes. Eric and I are 50-50 co-owners in this, co-owners. And Capital Ford is because of Eric. The way this thing looks is because of Eric. And I'm truly grateful for that. And we bring a lot to the table. Rick Thompson is obviously no longer a part of this show. And I'm pretty bummed about it, given that I thought, we were close friends. He had a different vision. Jacob Neff is still a part of it. Neff was a busy guy. He's a big card collector, and he got involved with it, and he was taking up his time at night to where he couldn't join us. He will be in Vegas with us. He's going to join us with Nick Lorenzen and Jeff Goodman. I already told him, I was like, dude, you got to come on with these guys. Cause as I always mention, he is the baseball prospect college player guru. So there's that, and lastly, I'll say it again, I miss Rick. He brought a lot to the table. I haven't addressed it, but he was apparently not happy with how I did things. These guys are not my employees. They are here on their own time, and it is much appreciated. And Ed, I know you're retired, but you respect Eric and I's work schedule with young children. So you bring a lot. I wouldn't. There'd be no Bella Hines interviews. There would have been no Lamont Longs, David Gibsons. That is all that. And Nick, you're as the guy who told us that you needed more Nick Nunez. You are a natural, man. I to that guy, I forgot who it was, that Bear DG, whatever. There's a reason I asked Nick to come on. I wasn't trying to ask the homeless guy on the street. Everybody that I've had on the show is, I think, either a basketball either a player or a coach or a reporter. So that's, I think, where my background had a leg up. I'm not good at anything. I was only good at losing money on college basketball, and I will kick your ass at Madden or NCAA football. That's about it. But my past, the years at the Daily Lobo, my year at the Albuquerque Journal, have I think helped us. And I don't know if it's luck or whatnot. So once again, a ramble, but this week, Nick Lorenzen going to try to book some guests. We'll announce it. Eric's going to Disney. I'm very, very disappointed I'm not going, because my dad used to say his world was a lot brighter when he saw Mickey Mouse. And if anybody gives me shit for Disney, my dad was in a wheelchair, and was on oxygen. He wanted to go to Disneyland. Anyway, Nick or Ed, sorry to have to follow up my heated comment there. Any final thoughts?
No, again, son, you did a lot of great research on Bella, so I appreciate that. I wish her best of luck. I think she's anxious to get out there, and it seems like such a whirlwind in her career. And here she is, ready to go attend one of the nation's best college women's programs. I think she's going to do great.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then, Dad, thanks for making that connection. Like Ryan said, man, a lot of the people we talk to, we wouldn't get to talk to them if it wasn't for you. So thank you, Ryan. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this. We love being on with you and Eric. And, looking forward to this summer.
Yeah. Look out for us hopefully starting June 4th. Again, we'll have more of an announcement with the show Together We How, which is, again, look at revenue sharing and what UNM, how they're, I'm going to use this buzzword, pivoting from, NIL collective to paying people, or I don't know what's going to happen. It's like technology. It's changing every minute, every day. We will be back this week, Tuesday and Thursday. And by the way, in 2 months, we will have already been in Las Vegas for Mountain West Conference Football Media Days. So I don't know where this year is going. And Ed, you said it earlier, the older to get, the faster it goes, because I cannot believe It is almost the end of May. It scares the living hell out of me. All right. I appreciate you guys. I think that was a phenomenal guest. I'm sorry I had to follow up with it. But kudos to her. And I didn't realize, I mean, I knew she was good. I didn't realize she was a 5-star recruit. Obviously she had to have been. So appreciate you guys for that. And for Nick Nunez, Ed Nunez, Jacob Neff, and Eric Moulton, my name is Ryan Tamori. Talk to you Tuesday night. This was an episode of Road to the Pit with the Pip on the Pit Press Live. Everybody enjoy the rest of what is left of your weekend, and we'll talk to you Tuesday night. Have a good one.